When she returned, however, she'd have the happiness of home and the joy of the people she loved. The geese would be bearable, since they were no longer her fate. "What should we know of your native land, Elodie?" She leaned back against the bulwark railing and addressed its ugly face, the long snout covered in brown and orange scales, and the lipless mouth over which hung two crooked yellow fangs. "Just mountains and farms and tiny villages, Masteress. Few own anything worth caring about if it's lost." It excelled at finding lost items. "Lahnt has bruncas, though." "Bruncas? Bruncas." Its smoke rose in puffs. "Bruncas? Ah, yes. Not human or fairy or elf, certainly not dragon or ogre, residing on the island of Lahnt and nowhere else, and not numerous even there. One lives on every mountain, and one in each village. A bevy dwell together in the north, where the children—" "Bruncals," Elodie said. "That's what young bruncas are." "Neither interrupt nor correct your elders, Elodie. Where the bruncals are born and raised. Bruncas are short creatures, even when full-grown, kindly, bodily willing to sacrifice their comfort for others, calm and rarely rattled, possessed of sharpened senses, sight, hearing, and smell." Count Jonty boomed. He could speak softer than a boom only with effort. "They can make rainbows, can't they, Elodie?" He always used her full name, and she always had his approval. She craned her neck up at his pleasant, enormous face. "Most can just flick out little ones, but I'm told High Brunca Maria can send hers across a whole valley." It wrinkled its eyebrow ridges. "They have their flaws, too, do they not? Good, but fault-finding. Uncompromising." Elodie rushed to their defense. "They help the deserving." "And decide who that is, Elodie." She shrugged. "Some say they're the best thing about Lahnt." Others disagreed. In the afternoon, the cog docked in the tiny harbour village of Z. Elodie couldn't miss the villagers' fright when they saw an ogre and a dragon. Her stomach, though pleased to be on dry land, tightened. Albin, who had seen the world, wouldn't mind, but her father's teeth chattered at the mere mention of ogres or dragons. Lambs and calves! Mother might run at them with the long rake as she'd done when a bear had lumbered into their yard. Masteress Meenore cared nothing about the disdain of others, but his lordship suffered, and Elodie ached in sympathy. What if her parents were to insist that it and his lordship leave and she remain at home? The three stayed in Z, barely long enough to buy provisions for the journey and to load 2 ox carts, the first with his lordship's many trunks, and Masteress Meenore's hoard, mostly cases of books, although it couldn't read. Elodie's thin satchel went on top in a blink. The second cart held Masteress Meenore. It could fly great distances, but trudge only short stretches. His lordship walked next to the first cart, guiding the oxen. Nespa kept pace at his side. Elodie drove the second cart. Masteress Meenore rested its head next to her on the driver's bench and kept her warm. Of course they could have flown. Elodie's masteress had carried her on its back in the past, and, but for Nespa, his lordship could have shifted into a bird. There was no rush, however. The Count was travelling for pleasure. Mistress Meenore had come along for pay and curiosity. Both wanted to see the wonder.